exercise B, which is about, okay? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. The text has been thoroughly explained, especially that it's a really long text, 23 paragraphs. Yesterday, we discussed questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Today, we reached exercise C, which is related to skills. Okay? So please, guys, we need to be answering them together, and I'll be writing down the answers on those lines for you to copy. Okay? Please, I need someone to clear the board. Okay. Who can tell me, please, what is the type of introduction that the writer employs to introduce? Yeah. Sorry. Which page? It's page 177. Yeah. If we go back to the introduction, let's see. Wait. Let's go to the introduction and see to what type it belongs. Did you know that we consume over 15 hours of media each day? Look, if you want to tell me it's a question introduction, then it has to have a series of questions, like several ones, not one only. Facts, yeah, it's a factual introduction because it's telling us that we consume 15 hours of media each day, 6.9 million gigabytes of information, which is around 9 DVDs. It's giving us facts according to a study, which is also a fact. Okay, so this type of introduction is sharing with us facts. Let's proceed. The internet connection today is miserable. Okay. So you told me it's a factual introduction, Lean? Yeah. This is question number 1. Let me start annotating. No, factual. Factual, it means it's rich in facts. Okay. No, I never stick to this. So why am I writing on number 1? Okay, guys. The PDF is also shuffling in a very awkward way. Yara? Okay, so the introduction. D. Yes, of course, everyone is copying this. The introduction is a factual introduction since it uses numbers and study results to, and they noticed, they asked us here about 3 purposes that this type of introduction serves. We can say to arouse the reader's curiosity, provide sorry? Sorry. Yeah, the reader's curiosity. Okay, provide background information about the impacts of media. When there's a plural word. Okay. What else? I don't like this. You can introduce the topic, it is okay? Yeah. It decided to freeze right now. Guys, everything is being recorded. Thank you for keeping the subject relevant. And introduce the main topic of the selection. Yes. But sorry, here there's an issue with the lines. Okay. Look, I can do this. Give me a second, please.
Yeah.
Okay, like this, I guess it works. Okay, so the introduction is a factual introduction since it uses numbers and study results to arouse the reader's curiosity, provide background information about the impacts of media, and introduce, sorry about the typo here, the main topic of the selection. Okay. Who can tell me, after you finish copying, please, what are 3 means of support the writer uses to achieve credibility? Write examples on it. Numbers, of course. Statistics. Real life experiences for whom? Real names. Okay, look. Let's. Okay.
Places.
Okay, you have to be specific. When you tell me names, you tell me names of, for example, places like cities, universities.
Yes.
What? Okay, so here you tell me names of social media platforms or websites. Statistics, it's true. Numbers, it's true. What else? What did you say, Yara? Dates? Okay. Yeah, sure. What about study results? Reno? Pardon? What about study results? Didn't they mention in paragraph 1, according to a study conducted, blah, 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 and they gave us the results of this study? This shows, yeah, we only need 3. So let's write them down. 2, achieve credibility. The author uses statistics. Automatically you open bracket, okay, and you tell me 62%, for example. 80% in paragraph 15. 19%, and so on.
لازم نقول 19% or 80% of what?
No, you can tell me in which paragraph. Okay. Okay. He also used, of course, names of cities. You can also say universities. Same. No. Such as University of California. San Diego, USA, and so on. Okay, let's call them names of maybe places, it's better. Okay. And you can also mention experts' opinions. Let me. Bravo, 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 bravo. And expert. Yeah, but those are the experts' opinions. In like those of Dr. Paul Marsden. Okay. So to achieve credibility, the author uses statistics. He also used names of places or universities and experts' opinions like those of Dr. Paul Marsden and Michael Ham. Those are 3 examples. Definitely there are many more. Okay. So in question 3, please finish copying those. So we can proceed to question 3. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, then let's get used to them. Identify the pattern of organization of these paragraphs. No, grade 9, no. No, skills in grade 9, no. Okay, once you're done, guys, just let me know, please. Online students, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Let's go to paragraph. Is anyone still copying? Yusuf done? Yeah? Ahmad? Yeah. Marwan done? يلا شباب. Okay. So can we shift to question number 3? Okay. Let's go to paragraph 3 and see to which pattern of organization it belongs. Yeah, there we go. Paragraph 3 is right in front of you on the board. It is, of course. Exemplification, of course, because they used here, for example. So paragraph 3 is focusing on an example that's being elaborated. Okay? So here it's enough to say, in paragraph 3, here, it's enough to say that the pattern is since the author is clarifying. لا إله إلا الله. عم بتروح الزبالة الإنترنت. ما هي على 4G. Okay. So again, it's not the best day for 3G and 4G and hotspots.
And Wi-Fi.
So exemplification, since the author is clarifying the idea presented. Sorry? No, he's clarifying. He's giving an example to clarify the idea presented in the topic sentence and the transitional signal is, for example. Okay. When you're done, we need to proceed to paragraphs 15 and 16. So in case you have finished copying, please skim through paragraphs 15 and 16 in your book and see what is the pattern of organization in those two. There are plenty. Yeah, addition. Wait. Yeah, how did you know, Yara? Look at 15 and 16, please. Look, guys. Yeah. They mentioned in paragraph 15 that almost a quarter of the world's population is now on Facebook. Because social networks feed off interactions among people, they become more powerful as they grow. Isn't this a cause and effect? Because social media platforms, they need more interaction. That's why they became super strong, because more and more people are using them, more interactions, more growth. We go to paragraph 16. Thanks to the internet. Thanks to the internet, because of the internet, each person with marginal views doesn't feel alone, doesn't feel marginalized. Okay? So both of them are cause and effect paragraphs. Therefore, the pattern of organization is cause and effect. Here. Sorry. Okay. So, cause